It's been more than a week since the video of a flogging incident involving two youngsters at the Warner's Palace went viral. And in that period, the victims of a public humiliation have hidden away as they attempt to pick up the pieces of life again. After several hours of trying and searching for the young lady in the center of all of this controversy, we have managed, with the help of some individuals, to locate where she is, and we are going to be interacting with her to hear from her firsthand exactly what happened that day and the subsequent event.
I was picked up and beaten by some young guys until we got to the palace, where I was flogged 20 times. I was severely injured and left alone. I have to go to the hospital with a friend who bore the cost of treatment, which is between 500 and 600 cedis, and I will repay later.
At the WAS station where the young lady used to work as a ticketing and revenue officer, her workmates and colleagues fear she may be unable to return to work after the trauma.
Even as we are speaking, how she will be feeding sometimes baffles my mind, because you don't have anybody to feed you, and now there's some social trauma on you that you have to quarantine yourself somewhere. I think for me, I'm pleading to the people that will also be sober with her, because it's something that has happened and could happen to anybody.
I wish I could get a decent job to work and take care of myself, because I can't return to the station where I worked.
Few meters away from the station is a beverage shop believed to be where the young man, also involved in the matter, worked.
Ever since the incident happened, I haven't seen him again around, and the shop has always been opened, except on Sundays, like today, they don't work. But ever since the case, he hasn't come to the shop again.
We followed up to find him. With his bloodshot eyes and nearly shrill voice, he recounted the pain he has had to suffer.
Ever since the incident happened, the social, one of my brothers who is also working at the social welfare came here. Then they took me to the hospital for general body screening. Then after the screening, it was just some pains and bruises that was on my body. But it was my eye that was affected, because that one, it was kicked by someone with a foot. So when it gets to a certain level, when I go out, it becomes blur and tears begin to come up.
He says even though the bruises to his back and buttocks are almost healing, he fears he may lose his sight.
We are still hoping and praying that we should get well. But with this and the police medical form, we last went there, the DC wasn't in town. That was, you go for the clearance, then the doctor will sign and it will proceed. The eye specialist told me in 3 days or 4 days I should always come for a checkup. That was what he told me. Whatever that happened, just as I said earlier on, is in God's control. But if you see that you can help, you can chip in and help.
The incident has been condemned by many rights and advocacy groups, even though some residents say the directive to publicly flog them as a means to check indecent exposure and leaking of X-rated content by the youth in WA was sanctioned by the palace.